Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to be watching DSP complain about MK1 a whole bunch. I know we watched him talk about MK1 the other day, so this is kind of like a follow-up. And I know this video was recorded on the 18th, and he did play the game since then, I believe on the 19th on the night stream. But he really hasn't changed how he feels on the game, so this is still kind of relevant. Of course, big ups to Doody streams for the upload, really appreciate it. But I'll shut up so we can get into the video.
What happens when we play it over the course of tomorrow's streams, correct? But outside of that, what we've got to do is we've got to figure out what to do with the other existing games, all right? The big X factor question mark here is Mortal Kombat 1. I'm going to be honest, I never thought Mortal Kombat 1 was going to be that good of a game.
You don't have to be honest now, DSP. You've been honest with us. You made it very clear that you didn't think that Mortal Kombat 1 was going to be any good.
When I heard that they were changing the gameplay mechanics and I played the beta and I saw how laggy the beta was and I saw that the gameplay was more based on basic mix-ups and using these cameos for combos and things rather than any kind of sound of footsies or gameplay like Street Fighter has.
So as soon as he realized that the game wasn't going to be Street Fighter, he was basically uninterested. This dude could not suck off Street Fighter anymore if he tried. It's just so obnoxious how hard he has to suck Street Fighter. Bro, we get it. You used to be good at Street Fighter and now you still like Street Fighter, but you're bad at it. We get it. Shut the fuck up.
I was like, I'm not seeing it. What I'm seeing is this game is catering more to people who played Mortal Kombat in the 2000s when the games weren't that competitively serious. It'll look flashy, it'll be fancy, it'll have gore, but I don't think it's going to have much substance. It's going to be more about do one flashy combo, that's the game, rather than, oh, two people actually playing well, trying to counter each other, mix each other up, do fun stuff. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be just flashy combo, flashy combo, flashy combo. It seems like that's what they were going for.
But you really don't even know anything about the game because you've barely played it. All you've played is offline content and you want to talk about the competitive nature of the game.
So, I already kind of knew that going into it, all right? But I also knew it's a fighting game. And here's the thing about fighting games. You can't just jump online and play them.
You absolutely can. There's nothing in the game that's stopping you from just pressing the online button as soon as you launch the game. The word can't and won't are not synonyms. They don't mean the same thing.
I've explained this to you guys every single fighting game I've ever played on YouTube. But people still to this day seem to be just ignorant level. I don't get it how you can be ignorant when I've explained it to you so many times. There's no point of a new fighting game going right online. What you need to do is learn your character before you try to implement them in multiplayer at all.
Why? Why do you have to learn your character before fighting somebody? Would you do that if you had a friend in real life who wanted to play? Like, let's say you got the game and your roommate wanted to play with you as soon as the game came out, you wouldn't fight him right there on the couch? You'd be like, no, dude, I have to play offline first to make sure I know my character. No, you just fight him. That's it. That's the end of the story. If that's the part you're looking forward to, then you might want to experience it as soon as possible. Your problem is you care too much about winning online video game or not looking bad in front of your audience. And either way, honestly, that's just sad. Your own pride is forcing you to give your viewers a bad stream that they don't want to see. Because you could absolutely take any character online immediately and just try and figure it out live. And honestly, that would probably be pretty entertaining. I mean, anything's more entertaining than watching you in tutorial mode for an hour just reading the text.
So how would you do that? Well, you got to play them in some kind of an offline mode to practice some basics. What are their special moves? Do you know a few quick combos you can do, right? At least the basics need to be known.
That's absolutely not true. On a fundamental level, every Mortal Kombat game is the same game. Usually there's a block, one of the shoulder buttons grabs, the face buttons attack, you've got jumps, you've got ducking. As long as you know that, you could just jump into a game and start punching and mashing and you'll figure it out. If you lose some matches, you lose some matches. And it's pretty fun, honestly, to just jump into a match and try and figure out combos live without looking them up. Because it's really fun to be able to visually tell what things should be able to go into other things and then try and get the timing down on somebody who's actually trying to beat you. There is fun and entertainment in that. And a former pro fighting game player should be able to just use his fundamentals to beat literally randoms online. But in all actuality, if he didn't do any practicing at all, he'd get bodied by absolutely every single kid online. And his ego just couldn't handle that.
Jasper, you're not going to be biting my wire. Stop that right now. Jasper, stop that right now. Do not bite the wire. I mean it. I know you're trying to get it. Hey! I know you're trying to get attention. You're not going to bite my wires today. Absolutely not.
I absolutely love cats, but Jasper's the worst thing on the planet. I think it's because of the voice that he does when he talks to Jasper is just so much more irritating than his normal voice, and that's honestly difficult to do.
Yeesh. Okay. So, the point I'm making here is, you need to have a level of training in any fighting game before you jump online. It's just a necessary evil. And I understand that seeing someone train with a new character and learn their basics and maybe go into combo trials and learn those before they go online may not be the most fun thing. That's the nature of the beast when it comes to a fighting game. It's always been like this. It's never been different. Where, oh, I can just immediately go online and know everything about a character and have fun.
But I don't think people expect you to go online and instantly know everything about a character without playing as them. That would honestly just be ridiculous. But it would be genuinely interesting to see someone jump into a game fresh, raw, no experience, and then just see how they stack up to the first person person they come across. And if you know that doing tutorials or playing offline to learn a character is absolutely necessary and a necessary evil, and it's always been like that, and you know no one wants to see it, why wouldn't you just do it offline? I mean, I know the answer is because you can't be bothered to play games if you're not actively begging and making money. But again, this is something that your streams would benefit from, and I can't believe that you wouldn't have done it. Because again, nobody wants to see you do text-to-speech for an hour per character. That seems insane. And if it wasn't obvious from day one that you should have done that, people actively complaining that they're bored and they don't want to see this shit should have been your wake-up call. But of course, you are incapable of taking any sort of criticism, critique, or recommendation at all.
No. In fact, you're an idiot if you do that. You'll never learn a fighting game that way. You need to at least learn some basics before you go online, period.
And there you have it. If you go online as soon as you launch the game without playing tutorials or offline modes, then you're an idiot. Apparently, it's that simple. If you were looking to have fun and play the game how you wanted to play the game, you're dumb. DSP thinks lesser of you because you decided to play the game a way that he wouldn't recommend or do himself. What a piece of shit.
In the case of Mortal Kombat 1, it's doubly so because there's characters and content that's locked until you play single-player content to unlock it. If I didn't play the story, I never would have been able to use Havoc last night. He would have been locked. I wouldn't have any of these cameo fighters unlocked. There's 5 of them that are all locked. And by the way, what I just noticed is that Kung Lao seems to be one of the best cameos. He's got a hat that can combo easily and extend the length of a combo, and he's got his hat spin, and it's an anti-air. It juggles, so it can extend a juggle or cause an anti-air situation. That seems like a really, really good cameo. So you need to have these unlocked if you want to play well online, right?
I've played a lot of games where online multiplayer unlocks were hidden behind single player modes, okay? The one that comes to mind right off the bat is there's guns in Battlefield 4. When I played Battlefield 4, they'd lock behind the campaign. Very similar to how characters are locked in MK1. Here's the thing, some people I know actually never completed the campaign and just straight up never used those weapons because they weren't interested. They saw other people using them, they weren't interested in using them themselves, and they never completed the campaign because the campaign did not interest them. Other people, myself included, did jump straight into the multiplayer and then seen people using those weapons and thought, you know what, I'd like to have those weapons for myself, so I went and I played the campaign whenever I wanted to. Now, I didn't rush the campaign just because I wanted to unlock these weapons or anything. I played when I felt like it. Now, if any of those weapons were top tier or absolutely I needed to use, then I would have rushed the campaign. So I think DSP definitely could have taken a more balanced approach, especially because he only uses like 1 character per stream. He could have played the campaign and invasion mode on one stream and then played the online multiplayer on the night stream or whatever. And that would have made the people happy. And yeah, he wouldn't have had all the characters unlocked or whatever, but he had characters to play with. Characters in the base game that he could have just used from the start, that he hadn't tried yet. And just like in my Battlefield 4 example, if he saw someone online using a character that he thought was top tier or OP that he wanted to use, he could have explained to his audience, hey, I'm gonna rush the campaign and play it a lot more because I want to get to the end and unlock these characters. But he didn't even do that. He gave the audience no incentive to see him play the campaign because they honestly just want to watch him play the multiplayer. And those two things don't actually correlate in real life. Only in DSP's warped mind do you have to play a campaign and invasion mode before you can play online.
It just makes sense. Why play a game with half the content locked, right? So I had to do it. And I explained this to everyone ahead of time. We're going to do the story first, about 6 to 8 hours long. We're going to do invasion. The other day, I even read to you from Alex Jabali, the tournament organizer of CEO. He did the research, and he found out it's about anywhere from 2.5 to 5 hours in invasion mode to unlock the content to get everything for online. I read all this to you on the podcast. This is all common knowledge. Everyone should know this. All right?
Yeah, you read that shit and no one cared. They wanted to see you play online and that's all that matters. The only way this is relevant is when they ask you why you aren't picking other characters that are locked and you tell them, hey, well, if you wanted to see that, I would have to play offline and you guys said you wanted to watch me play online.
So then why is it I go to play it and people are complaining? Like, seriously. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to lay down the law now, all right?
Oh shit, Officer DSP is gonna lay down the law.
If you don't understand the absolute basics of a fighting game, that you need to unlock the content and learn a character before you play online, I don't think fighting games are for you.
And there you have it. If you wouldn't play the game in the exact order and how DSP would, then you should not be playing fighting games in his eyes. What a fucking regarded take. And he's so smug about it too, like his take is the end-all be-all on how you should play a fighting game.
I think maybe you should just not care about them and skip anyone playing them, because I just don't understand how you don't understand the basics of a fighting game at this point. 15 years in, every fighting game is exactly the same, and you still don't get it.
If I was more reckless with my money, right now is where I would record me buying Mortal Kombat 1, installing it, and immediately going online and fighting somebody. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to blow money on a game that I don't even want to purchase just to prove DSP wrong. Self-restraint will win today. Sorry to disappoint.
You know, it seems like some people are around just to bitch. And I get to the point where I have no tolerance for it anymore. If you're coming around just to complain every stream, then I don't want you on my streams.
You need to look into a mirror, DSP. Because you say things like this, if you just want to come around here and bitch, I have no tolerance for that. But the first thing you do on every single stream that you start is bitch. So if you had to follow your own advice, you would never hit start streaming on OBS again.
If you're here to sit around, oh my god, why is he playing offline? Because I have to unlock the content to play online. I've explained this for weeks.
Again, he says he has to. That's not how that works. He could totally just click the online button and that would be the end of the story.
I told everyone it was coming. Sorry that I can't just have the content unlocked. I didn't design the game. I don't work for NetherRealm. I'm not Ed Boon. All right, you got problems with that? Go complain to the source who made the game. Why did you lock content? Why didn't you allow players to immediately go online?
I'm going to continuously beat this dead horse, no offense, Cap. But you absolutely can immediately go online. There is nothing actually stopping you.
Because here's the truth. If I didn't have to do that, I would have day one said, let's take a character, go in the lab for about an hour, learn the basics, do their combo trials, and take them right online.
And people still would have bitched because no one wants to see you do a tutorial for an hour. You got the same complaints in Street Fighter 6. So I don't know why you didn't take that prior knowledge and apply it to Mortal Kombat 1. And if you were going to do tutorials or whatever, you should have done them either pre-stream or post your first stream and figured it out. That way you could go online for your stream. That would have shown some initiative. That would have made it seem like you actually wanted to play the game and you maybe would have gotten more support.
We would have done that, just like I do with every other fighting game, correct? But we couldn't do that with Mortal Kombat 1 because the content is locked. You have to play the offline modes first.
He said it again.
Again, you're complaining to the wrong people. I didn't make the game. I just play it, okay? So if you have an issue with that, go complain to them, right? Now, we're almost there. We got about maybe around another 2 hours in Invasion mode to get the rest of the cameos, and then I'm going to go online. I'm going to take some of the characters. And by the way, I should say this. Invasion mode is kind of a two birds with one stone approach because as you've seen, I've now used Baraka, Reptile, and Havoc in General Shao as well, and Havoc in that mode, and I've got some basics down. I don't know much about them. I don't have advanced combos or whatever, but I learned some basics with all of those characters. So now, I at least have a general idea of how to play them, and if I want to use them online, I can give them a shot at least, even though I probably already forgot stuff.
Then what was even the point of using them in the offline mode? Because this entire segment was talking about how you have to use these characters offline so you can figure out their basics and all their combos or whatever that you need to learn to play online. And then you just told us that you probably forgot the shit anyway. So what benefit was it to us? I say to us, but I mean your viewers. If you didn't retain any of the information and you made people sit through these modes that they didn't want to see and actually have a worse experience because of it, what did we gain?
I'm trying to remember what's Reptile's moves. I think it's like 2 hits into the juggle ball and stuff. But I probably could do basic stuff with that, right? And that's good. It gives you an opportunity to try out characters in an easier setting, AI opponents, and practice stuff before you go online. What's wrong with that?
Your viewers found it not entertaining, and your job is to entertain them. That's what's wrong with that. It really is that simple.
Not everything in life is immediate gratification of exactly what you want. I learned that as I get older.
Yo, this is peak irony coming from you. A guy who will tell you multiple times a day that tipping him is the best way to support the channel because he gets it right now. For immediate gratification. The double standard. The hypocrisy. It's disgusting. It's despicable. It's piss.
Listen, I would have immediately liked to just go right to training mode and go right online within an hour and play. I can't. I have to unlock the content first. Like I said, Kung Lao might be the cameo I use the most. I actually like the fact that he's got the hat that extends combos and this anti-air that juggles. It might actually make certain characters viable. I was thinking about it last night. I was like, that might be why there's certain characters that don't have launcher combos. Because you're supposed to do 1 or 2 hits and then the cameo comes out and they launch for you. And then you do your combo, your juggle combo, and that might make characters who don't have good juggle combos very viable. I think that's where the cameos come into play in the game.
Dang, who would have thought that you could use your cameo characters to round out your actual character? It's like a whole mechanic of the game that DSP didn't even think about before shitting all over it.
So I don't have them unlocked, how do I play it? Right? So that's what I mean, like, the things that I get. The feedback I get, it's invalid. It's from people who don't even understand how fighting games work. I didn't design the fucking game. I wish that I could have told Ed Boon, hey, Ed, don't lock content. It's 2023. No one needs to play your story mode to get a character. No one wants to play 5 hours of Invasion to get the cameos. Just have them available so we can all play the game at a competitive level at launch. I would love to have Ed Boon's ear on that. I don't. No one cares about me. No one listens to my opinions. All right? So I can't make the game play better. I didn't design it. All right?
I said this the last time we talked about Mortal Kombat. I actually like when they hide unlocks behind single player content. I think it's a neat incentive to make people who would only play online play the single player. And if you go back to my Battlefield 4 example from earlier, it really did give all of us players that had those weapons another thing to talk about in the game, giving us that extra connection to each other. Because we could all talk about the campaign if really we had nothing else to talk about. And sometimes we did.
It's just necessary to do this. So we're almost done with it, by the way. We're at the point now where tonight, when I play Invasion, it looks like we should be getting to the multiplayer, everything unlocked, and I can try to mess around with the characters and do all that, okay? But what else can I do, right? And so what I'm frustrated about is so far, if you look at how much coverage I've done in Mortal Kombat 1, 6.5 hours of story and around 3 hours of Invasion. So I've played the game for almost 10 hours so far, okay? I've done 2 night streams of Mortal Kombat 1. Both of those night streams have been insanely slow for support, to the point where last night's stream was actually the slowest stream I've had all year long for support.
And this is probably where most of his hostility today is coming from. That $7 night stream really rubbed him the wrong way. The negative feelings that he has for Mortal Kombat 1 only grow with every low support stream.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and harp on numbers and shit, but that's pretty bad. I dumped extra money to get Mortal Kombat 1 early for you guys so that we could get through this single player content quickly, right?
No, DSP, you got it early for you because you insisted on taking the first day off like you don't make your own schedule or something. You got it early for you because you refused to play online without unlocking absolutely everything from the offline modes. You paid all that extra money because you thought it would put you in a better position. And now that it hasn't, you're extra salty about it, which is great because you get what you deserve.
Because I knew Lies of P was coming. You guys were going to see that. You didn't want to see them both on the same day come out, right? And I did all this, and I explained to you all along how this game was going to go. And people were like, yes, play it. We're dying to see it. We want to see what this game is. It's exciting. A new Mortal Kombat. People were even screaming, we want Mortal Kombat over Street Fighter. Street Fighter's played out. You played it for 3.5 months. We want Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I don't even actually like your content, and even I would much rather see Mortal Kombat than Street Fighter. It's a personal preference thing. I think Street Fighter is actually the worst fighting game, period. And I'm sure your audience has gotten tired of seeing it too, so I'm honestly not surprised that they said that. If they even said that, you might be lying.
Well, what I'm seeing now directly is that this essentially is the vocal minority, all right? Because here's the deal. The other day on Thursday was my day off. I did an impromptu stream of Street Fighter 6 that wasn't even planned, all right? I didn't even announce it. I just turned on the stream and started playing with Lily. I got high attendance. I got support in every way you can think. People were ecstatic that I was playing Street Fighter 6 again.
Were they ecstatic that you were playing Street Fighter 6 again, or were they ecstatic that you were showing some initiative and enjoyment in what you actually do? Because it does say something that you were willing to, on your day off, get online and even stream Street Fighter 6 because you wanted to. They probably found that really refreshing because your streams are so rigid and scheduled and unfun. And yes, there is going to be a dent that brings this up in a few minutes, but I wanted to say it now so that you could keep that in mind when he continues to talk. Because I think that's what the reality is. I think that for once he actually showed initiative and enjoyment in something, and people rewarded him for that, because that's typically how streams go. When you're having fun, you create a fun environment for your viewers, and they enjoy being there, and they support the streams. That's actually how that works. It's not meant to be a conveyor belt that you just chug through every single day just to get a stream out there, just to get content on the internet to make money. That's not really what people want to see, and they typically don't want to support that.
Right? But ever since I started playing Mortal Kombat, nope, not at all. A lot of people are coming and saying, it doesn't look that good. Some people are coming by and saying, it looks all right. And there's just been pretty much the deadest support. And that is disheartening. Again, the understanding was I was going to spend extra money to play it early so we could get a lot of gameplay in this weekend before Lies of P came out. And I guess people just don't care. So maybe I am listening to the wrong people. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we do have a vocal minority who are screaming for things. And then when I do them, it turns out that it's not actually what people wanting. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't know. I just don't know what to believe anymore because it seems very random. Sometimes I can play a game I never expected was going to do well, and it does incredibly well. And then sometimes I play a game that I swear is a home run. Why would Mortal Kombat not do well? And it seems like people just aren't really caring about it. Okay? 2-Hour Woman says people aren't supporting the game. They're supporting the fact you did a stream on your day off. That would make sense, except every time I play Street Fighter 6, I get good support. Every time.
That's only a half truth. He definitely had some slow Street Fighter streams. That's straight up a lie. But every Street Fighter stream pretty much got $30 worth of support because Game Cooker was still around. And that was a guaranteed $29.99 or whatever he tipped. It's just like the $20 1-minute man tip. It doesn't fucking count because they're guaranteed tips. It's not indicative of what people are actually willing to support on a stream.
Every time I play Street Fighter 6, we got people coming by, super chatting, dropping memberships, and doing tips. Every time. Every single time. It's not just an exception that it was the one time. That was pretty much, like I said, the night before I had done a Lily stream, and that stream had done well as well. And that Lily stream didn't even go so well. I was losing more than I was winning, and it still went well.
Does he expect to do worse financially because he doesn't play well? Maybe that's why he insists on playing tutorials and getting practice in before going online. I mean, maybe that's the truth. Maybe if he plays poorly, people don't support him as much, but that definitely isn't how that's supposed to work. I don't know. We'd have to get Doody streams to look at his tips analytics for that one. I don't keep track of his tips like that.
So, no, I'm sorry, I can tell you, I just don't think that's the case at all. I think it's a case of, I think there was hype because Mortal Kombat 1 was new, and then the moment people started to see what it was, they're like, oh, and then people just kind of tapped out and dipped out. And then it was funny, because whenever there's a stream, and this is very much truthful, if I'm on a stream, all right, and all of a sudden it's a slow stream, there's almost no support, the haters show up, the hate watchers, and you'll see my viewers will skyrocket for toxic reasons. And the reason you can always tell this is because no one's talking in the chat.
Your chat's always slow though, no matter how many people you have watching. In part because you have a 24-hour sub chat only, and in another part because you ban anyone who actually wanted to chat with you. And that's not just trolls I'm talking about like genuine people who actually want to watch DSP have been in fact banned from chat. So it doesn't matter how many viewers he gets, his chat's always the same speed. Slow. Dead, in fact.
Seriously, everyone's just, it's the same people talking in the chat as always. Why do I have 400, 500, 600 viewers out of nowhere? Because they all want to sit there and rub their hands together like this and say, Phil has a slow stream, so this justifies all the years of online harassment we've given him. See, because he has one slow stream. They're idiots, but that's how they act. They're all immature morons.
You could tell by how elaborate that was he spends way too much time thinking about us. He's so concerned about what we're doing that he can't help himself. And I can only speak for myself, but I personally do not show up just because DSP has a slow stream. Especially the night streams. Bro, I'm in bed. I got work in the morning. I'm not doing all that. But I definitely will catch the clips the next morning on my way in. That's why it's always big ups to all the clip channels. Y'all keep me informed when I gotta do real people shit.
So, even though last night, for example, I was playing Mortal Kombat 1, the attendance was not good. And then all of a sudden, when people saw it was a slow stream, attendance skyrocketed. People were interested, right? It's like, oh, gee, I wonder why, right? So, what happened? People are saying there's a troll and he's harassing people. Okay.
Gotta hit him with that lean in manual, you know.
So, what I need from you is feedback on what exactly you're expecting and what you want. Because we don't have any more major new releases until, well, the end of the month, at the 27th, I believe it is, so a little over a week. We've got the big DLC for Street Fighter 6, which is the Aki DLC, a new character. She's completely unique. It looks nothing like any character I've seen in Street Fighter before. I have no idea how she's going to translate into being a competitive fighter in this game. I'm going to have to mess around with her a little bit in training mode, in her trials, before we take her on.
And then he immediately does it in Street Fighter 6, too. He can't just play casuals and learn on the fly at least a little bit just to start out. I get that if you want to play at an actual competitive level that you would do the tutorials and look things up and try and really get a handle on the character. But for his first stream with the character, at least for an hour or two, he could just go online and play casuals and have fun. Can't wait to hear how bored people are during the DSP text-to-speech tutorial.
But I'm going to treat that just like I did with Rashid. We'll kind of do a whole day of that character and try to, understand them, and then decide if that's a character I want to further pursue, or if I want to go back to maybe just the characters who I've been focusing on and trying to get better with, okay? So, that's coming up. But outside of that, all the next slew of new releases are coming out in October. Assassin's Creed, Alan Wake 2 is one of them. There's like a million. For some reason, I'm just not really thinking of them right now. But there's a ton. We just went over them the other day, actually, in the list. So we've got essentially around 2 weeks to focus on the games that I'm playing right now. And the question is, what is it that you want me to focus on? Do you want more Starfield? Or should Starfield just be a night stream that we balance with other things? Do you actually want more Street Fighter 6? Because people seem to show up and support the Street Fighter 6 streams. Do you want Mortal Kombat 1 to be a focus? Or is this all bullshit? Because right now, I'm going to be honest, I think it feels like bullshit to me.
DSP, you never listen to your audience anyway, so why do you even bother asking? And I know that the answer is so that he can shift the blame to the audience when the support is low, because they're not meeting their end of the deal or whatever. You guys asked for this and then you don't want to support the streams. Where were you? No, I get it. But it's just so fake and see-through at this point. You said in this very segment that you don't know what to believe, it could be a silent minority, and you never take any suggestions anyway, so why do you even bother asking?
It feels like people were blowing smoke up my butt about Mortal Kombat 1 to get me to spend the extra money. And I did, and now it's not really turning into anything, I already told you guys. When I was talking about Mortal Kombat 1, I knew I wasn't going to get into it like Street Fighter. I know I'm not. I've now played it for, 10 hours? I know what the game is. I see how it's going to play. I think it's all right, but it's just incredibly similar to the older Mortal Kombat, like 9 and 10. It seems incredibly similar to those two games. It seems closest to 10, because in 9 you had those neutral jump punches that could juggle. That's not in it. And in 11 they added the Street Fighter elements, and that's not in it. So it feels like Mortal Kombat 1 kind of plays like Mortal Kombat 10. I wasn't in love with 10. I just thought 10 was okay.
And it's that shitty attitude that probably led to your low support. Because why would people get invested and interested in a game that you clearly don't have an interest in playing for an extended period of time? If your viewers know that you would rather be playing a different game, in this case Street Fighter 6, why would they support you financially playing MK1? It just doesn't make sense. Why would they financially incentivize you to play a game that you don't want to play if they actually like you? So maybe you made MK1 flop on purpose? Just so that you could play Street Fighter 6. But if that was the case, why would you go on and continue to bitch about it on stream and not just give up on it? That makes me think that you didn't do it on purpose and instead you're actually this stupid, which is probably the truth and even sadder.
Right now, if you were to ask me, what's better between Mortal Kombat 1 or Street Fighter 6, I would say Street Fighter 6 is about 3 times better than Mortal Kombat 1, gameplay-wise. Seriously.
Oh, blow it out your ass, you fanboy.
Because it seems like I said, Mortal Kombat 1 is a one-trick pony. The whole game is about high-low mix-up and calling out a cameo to either extend a combo or create that mix-up, and that's it. There's really nothing to it. While Street Fighter 6 has all these layered gameplay mechanics that make it incredibly complex, Mortal Kombat is very simplistic, and honestly, it's probably going to be very unbalanced and broken once people break these characters down and realize who has the insane combos and stuff like that.
But isn't he constantly talking shit on Street Fighter 6 when he plays it about how some characters are broken and they have insane combos and whatnot? So how is it any different? And again, he's calling MK1 a one-trick pony when he's only played online, I think, once now. So his experience in the game is essentially nothing because he hasn't had to experience any actual difficulty. He played the campaign on medium mode, which is essentially baby easy mode.
I just don't really foresee it being that good, okay? Just being honest. So, that all being said, I knew I wasn't going to get into Mortal Kombat 1 as much as Street Fighter. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to play it and enjoy it. It just means don't expect me to be playing it at high master rank level and trying to get crazy good with any particular character. It's going to be a more casualized experience for me, which is fine.
A more casualized experience, but you insist on doing all the tutorials and absolutely understanding a character before you go on and play casual matches. That shit just doesn't add up. That doesn't make sense. That's not what actual casual play looks like. That's what half-ass competitive looks like.
You know, I'm okay with not having to master every fighting game I play. In fact, Street Fighter 6 was the exception to the rule in that regard, where I wasn't really expecting to get good at it, and I actually have, okay? So,
A little self-fellatio in there. We love to see it.
what do? Here's the thing. Last night I put out a poll, all right, on my main channel page of DSP Gaming, and the poll had all these different, hold on, where is it? I'm gonna bring it up here, the actual poll I did, to read the results. Let me get to it. I have to swap over here. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Jasper, I'm trying to switch accounts and,
This is the least professional stream. Like, I know it doesn't have to be a suit and tie event to stream, but like, he could have at least had his poll, like, up on his phone. Or a real content creator would have taken a screenshot and put it in their OBS before the stream so that he could show the audience in a reasonable way.
Okay, I'm almost there. I swear I'm almost there. Okay, so here's the deal. Last night, 12 hours ago, I posted up a poll on the channel page of DSP Gaming. And the question is very simple. Out of the current new release games, which are you most excited to watch we continue to cover? Let your voice be heard. Starfield, Mortal Kombat 1, Lies of P, or Street Fighter 6. And immediately some people were like, why'd you say Street Fighter 6? That's not a new release. Well, it's only about 3 months old. It is a newer game. It's the newest Street Fighter game. It's a game I played a ton of and people love. Every time I play it, people show up and support. Yes, it's considered a hot new release for me.
Listen to how much he had to justify putting Street Fighter 6 on that list, though. And 3 months ago makes it not a new game, DSP. Especially in the video game industry. Shit moves quick out here.
Maybe not for you, but for me, it is, okay? So here's the deal. The poll went up. In the first hour of the poll, by a landslide, it was Lies of P. Like, it was like, no exaggeration, like 30 plus 40%. Everyone wanted to see Lies of P, like a landslide vote. And I get that. We all are curious to see if Lies of P will actually be good or not. I think tomorrow we're going to get that determination and that answer. And then after that, that curiosity will be done. And then we'll determine if it's still important or not. I guess after tomorrow, if I ran this poll again, you might get completely different results, okay? But here's what happened. Last night, my hate watchers got word that I literally had the slowest stream that I had all year. Okay, so what did they do? They basically flooded the poll. And they flooded it with votes for Mortal Kombat 1 on purpose because they want to see me play more, hoping that people will not support Mortal Kombat 1. That's exactly what happened.
Do you have the proof for this? You can guarantee that 100% of the people that voted for Mortal Kombat 1 are your trolls and just want to see you suffer? You got the analytics for that? I really doubt it.
It's messed up because, again, I try to get legitimate feedback, and I can't because these people try to skew shit for their own purposes. And I know it's a fact because the poll had about 150 votes, and then all of a sudden, within another hour, it had like 500 votes. Like, wait, so where did the 400 votes all come from all in one clump? Gee, I wonder where, right?
It's a pet peeve of mine when he says that he knows something as a fact, and then he goes on to explain how he knows it for a fact and he has no actual numbers to support his claim. Like, yes, it's likely that a lot of people probably voted on him to play Mortal Kombat 1 in that short period of time, hoping that he would have another bad stream. But to say you know it as a fact 100%, there's no doubt about it, it's just not true. Unless he's got some sort of deep metadata analysis that he's done, he can't say for certain anything. Because it's well within the possibility that actually 400 people saw the post that genuinely liked DSP and thought I'd love to see him play MK1 again. Like I said, a possibility. I'm not saying it's probable, but maybe he doesn't actually know. And that's what I'm talking about.
Now, again, here's the thing. I'm not against playing Mortal Kombat 1. We're playing it tonight no matter what. That's already happening. It's locked in. That's the late stream. But I'm going to hope that things are going to get better. That not every time I play MK1, it's a dead stream for support, and all it is hate watchers sitting there rubbing their hands together like fucking Newman from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, nice. What a boomer reference. Thanks, DSP.
Right? I want to see everyone fail around me, right? My nefarious intentions. It's fucked up, you know? I want to play the game and enjoy it, but I also want to have buy-in from my audience that they're interested in it. If the answer is no, we actually don't care about this game, then I have many other things I could be doing outside of Mortal Kombat 1. I'd have to write it off as a loss. What are you going to do? I spent a lot of money on it. If people don't like it, they don't like it. And I'm okay with that, you know? So, I don't know what to tell you. You know, tonight, this late stream of Invasion, we are eventually, it's going to probably take another hour or 2 hours. We're going to unlock the final cameos, okay? Once that's done, then I could potentially take a couple characters online and mess around.
See, and then he says go online and mess around. If you're gonna go online and mess around, you could just go online and mess around with any character without training, without playing offline. Like, that's what messing around means. Literally just do the thing and have fun. But that's not what he's talking about at all.
You know, ideally, the way you tackle a fighting game is you take a character and you go into their trials, because each character has trials where you learn basic combos and techniques with them. You do that first, then you take them online in an online set and you see if you can apply what you just learned in the trials to the online set. That's how it should happen. That's how I've covered every fighting game for the last 15 years. Mortal Kombat 1's been the exception because I have to play the single player content first to unlock all the characters to begin with, you see?
It's so weird to me that he plays fighting games like that, though. Just rigid and one note, and like, this is the way you have to do it. You have to play their trials, then you have to take them online. Like, dude really could just have fun with the game, and he refuses to. Also, we're gonna come back into a coughing segment, and I'm just gonna mute it because I don't want to hear it myself.
So, I'm very curious what happens tonight, and tonight may determine what happens for the rest of me covering the game, you know? Wednesday is an open stream. Wednesday's daytime stream could be Lies of P, it could be Starfield, or it could be Mortal Kombat 1. But I'm leaving it open purposefully to see how things go today, how things go tomorrow with Lies of P, and to go from there. So, let's take a look, I guess, after tonight and after tomorrow and see how things go, okay? And go from there. But I felt like it was important to have this discussion because I want to be doing what you want. And it's hard to figure that out when there's a lot of people who seem to be vocal, but it doesn't seem to be the people who actually care.
And when he says people that actually care, he means people that give him money. The people telling him what to play and what they want to see are people who don't actively tip him, and that's not the people that he's interested in having on stream. Because he's not interested in cultivating an audience that actually wants to see him play games. He's interested in cultivating an audience that wants to give him money.
You know what I mean? Like, again, my mentality has always been the following. If I am putting out an entertaining stream where I'm enjoying what I'm doing and you are also enjoying it, then the support is just going to come. And for the most part, that has happened. Take a look, like I said, the case in point of that is the Street Fighter 6 streams. Even when I'm frustrated because I'm losing, you can tell that I have passion for competitive Street Fighter, and that comes through, and people have been supporting those streams for 3.5 months, right? So, obviously, that's why people want to keep seeing that. And I'm totally down for that, okay?
So you understand that having passion for the game that you're playing is important to the enjoyment of the viewing audience. But with several games now, you've decided to talk negatively and shit on them before they even come out and right before you play them. You did this with Tears of the Kingdom, did this with Diablo 4, did it to Starfield, and now you've done it with Mortal Kombat 1. If you understand the concept, I don't understand why you keep doing the exact opposite. Again, I can't help but feel like you're self-sabotaging the games preemptively. But then you don't quit them early, so you just get to suffer and get low support. I don't understand what the game plan is. But that's gonna do it for today's video. It was really just him complaining about Mortal Kombat 1 a bunch. But I wanted to take a look at it just because the way he talks about MK1 and the way that he constantly compares every fighting game to Street Fighter really irritates me. But I appreciate everyone who watched the video. Again, big ups to Doody Streams. The upload, I appreciate it. The link will be in the description. Make sure to check out his channel and other detractor channels and dive deeper into that Snortex. But that's gonna do it for today's video. I really wanted to show how he'll talk negatively about a game before even playing it. He did the same thing with Starfield, and it bothered me then, so I definitely wanted to show it off second time around. Of course, big ups to everyone who watched the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Make sure to check out other detractor channels and dive deeper into that Snortex.